guys, so the first thing that you'll notice I've changed is the overall layout of the consoles. Can't have a games room without a console layout. What you'll see now is I've essentially binned off all the control pads, so it just gives this nice cleaner general aesthetic. In general, the only consoles that are wired up to the CRT at the moment, you'll see I've got like a little AV switcher in there, and obviously the SNES is on at the moment, but the N64 and the PS2 are also wired up, and I need to go and hunt down the bits and pieces for probably the Saturn. I think is going to get connected up simply because it plays Saturn and Mega Drive. You can see there I've shoved the NES and the PS1 all the way in the corner, and there's some Game Boys there also. They're there mainly for convenience, but I just need to figure out how to sort out the cables on this a little bit better. The Switch and the Wii U and the PS3, funnily enough, are all connected to the main TV, mainly obviously because they're all HDMI. And you'll notice that now I've got my AV unit and the PS5 on this little unit over here next to the TV. Unfortunately, it does stick out a little bit awkwardly from the general room, but I'm quite happy with having it over here. Having the AV unit inside there hides it away nicely, and the PS5 with the VR next to it looks fantastic. Overall, I managed to position the TV so it's facing the couches a little bit more, so yeah, you get the full experience of watching TV and playing retro at the exact same time if you want. We've still got Mighty Bowser on the top there. He's king of the castle, as you were. Much cleaner look about the overall unit. You can see I mounted the speakers on the wall, cleared off everything at the top. Now there's just the VR controllers and the PlayStation sign. And then this side you can see the little unit that's just sat on the floor of the main. I had to trim that down. And then obviously a new mascot for the room. I'll move it to get a better view. So yeah, there is Diana of Themyscira, otherwise known as Wonder Woman. She is a full-size cutout, which is designed to be a standee, but I've obviously mounted it to the wall and to the door. She looks fantastic, and yeah, I don't need to say anything else about that. The other great thing about this CRT TV is, I'll open it up, you can see it's got plenty of storage space underneath. At the moment there's just a Blu-ray player for the projector and my 8-bit DO arcade sticks, but I'm thinking I might put the NES down there and connect that to the TV separately, just to get that proper old school retro feel. But it's a great stand, and shout out to Go Remember sorting that out. Hopefully you guys remember on the pickups video I did, I bought this amazing Booster Boy for the Game Boy. I think it looks fantastic. I like leaving it out just as a bit of a showpiece until I find a better permanent location for it. It's sat over here, but it's a great piece of kit. In terms of the game displays, that has been updated somewhat. The new addition, courtesy of freeing up some space, is this Resident Evil display. You can see I've got the 3 PS1 games and the complete GameCube collection. Here is a Crimson Head figure from Resident Evil 4. I have got some other Resident Evil 1 and 2 figures coming, but at the moment there's a Walking Dead guy. He'll be replaced, don't worry. The other new display which I've managed to create is this awesome Metroid centric display. You can see I've got Metroid 2 Prime Remastered, I've got the OG Metroid on the NES, the King Big Box Super Metroid, Metroid Trilogy on the Wii, there's Metroid 2 on the GameCube, and then a sealed version of Samus Returns on the 3DS. Managed to cap off the display with 5 little amiibos, which I think are pretty cool. Not really a fan of the Dark Samus one or the Prime Metroid Dread Samus, but I think these guys look fantastic. The Zero Suit, Ridley, the first of Samus, the Metroid from Metroid 2, and then if you look there, I think it's pretty cool. Essentially the amiibo mirrors the box art, which I thought was a fantastic piece by Nintendo. Well done. In general, for this display, the obvious one that's missing is Metroid Zero Mission on the Game Boy Advance. I think we'll replace this Samus Returns, so I'll be in the hunt for that in the future. Add it to the display. Looks fantastic. Otherwise, you've already seen the Pokemon, Zelda and Mario displays. This time I've had to shoehorn the SPs in there because I ran out of space, but the other displays are as they were. There's a few more Game Boys I've had to shoehorn in the back there because I've run out of space. And then I think this area needs the most amount of work. The Mega Drive and the PlayStation section, just a bit of organization and sorting it out. I need to collect for the Game Gear. I think next is the major console that I'm missing, so yeah, watch this space. The other thing I've done is just put my main GameCube titles out front on display. The one that sticks out obviously is the Game Boy player. It's become quite rare and expensive for some reason, but I need to replace that with Metal Gear Solid, so that is on its way. Otherwise, just the Wii and the Wii U games all lined up in there, and the obligatory most important movie collection. Next up, in terms of the console box display, it is looking a little bit messy, so in the future I think I'm gonna change this around a bit just to make it look a little bit more presentable. But overall, these are, I guess, my main console boxes, just lined up so that you can see them. I think the GoldenEye and the Pikachu N64 need to come out because the art is fantastic on those, so I'll probably do that separately to this video. And I guess what can only be described as the biggest change, which is notable to everybody, is the wall of games which I've created with the help of my assistant, Get Retro. We moved the Lego UCSs upstairs, and then I fitted those IKEA photo frame displays, shelves all the way around. They're obviously a lot narrower than the main floating shelf which was here previously, so it does look a little bit odd. However, I couldn't get away with it because I still need to keep the projector. But in general, the aim was to try and get as many of the most iconic box art that I could get, my rarest games in the various collections, and put them all on display so you can see all the Game Boy games. Moving up, the SNES collection. Again, the idea was that you could put the artwork on display, which for me is the most important thing. I'll do a separate video where I talk through each one of the games in detail, but just to give you a glance over what we've got. What do you think? Like I said, when you walk through the door, it looks fantastic, and that was the main reason for doing this. Inspired by Get Retro Ghetto, by the way that he's done his. However, I wanted the games horizontal instead of vertical, so that you could actually see and read them as they were meant to be. What I quite like is the fact that when you're sat down, if I'm doing some streaming, I can now sit on the couches and have the camera on, and I think it looked quite cool with all the Game Boy box art behind you. So yeah, what do you guys think? Have I made an improvement? Does it flow a lot better? I think so. It definitely looks a lot clearer and a lot more symmetrical, and on the whole I think it's gonna make the gaming and viewing experience a lot better in this room. So for the time being, other than a few improvements, I think I'm happy with this as it is. Yeah, give me a shout, let me know what you think. Any other suggestions or things I can do, let me know in the comments. Hopefully if you liked the video, like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.